Central New York, and hello, hockey fans all across the internet, and welcome to the Central New York Hockey Report podcast. I'm your host, Scott Kinville, and tonight we have a trifecta of awesome because we have got three members of the Morrisville Mustangs men's hockey team coming on the show tonight. Before I bring them in, though, of course, I want to bring in my co-host, my producer, my mentor, the man, Dave the Save Warner.
Yeah, okay, whatever you say.
Hey, listen, try to be nice.
Yeah, because the intro gets longer and longer. Jeez.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
I'm great.
Good? All right. You ready for this?
The campaign is over. I'm ready for anything.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that in segment 2 because you had a big week. So
had a big week. Yep.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And for those of you who are normally watching our show, you know Jordan is our other co-host. He's trying to sign in, so he's having some technical difficulties.
He always has technical difficulties.
I know. We gotta fix that problem for him. But
yeah, well, that means we'd have to fix him. So
well, that's a little beyond repair.
Yep.
But anyways, that notwithstanding, when he gets in. Right now, I want to bring our guests in, though, because like I said, we got three members of the Morrisville Mustangs men's hockey team. Tonight with us, we have Assistant Coach Ryan Pascarella, goaltender Garrett Boyonoski, and defenseman Rob Haak. Thanks, guys, for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
That is awesome. And, guys, I tell you, I see, Rob, you're still at the rink. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
So you work part-time there?
Yeah, I do. I work a lot of nights at the rink.
Yeah, you just can't seem to get enough. I guess you are the proverbial rink rat, aren't you?
I guess so.
All right, guys. Well, listen, we want to get started with some little bit background information on you guys because, the viewers want to know about you. They want to know what makes you tick and all that. So, Coach, I'm going to start with you. You were a goaltender at Fredonia, SUNYAC rival of the Mustangs, and now you're wearing the green and white. Let's see. You started off coaching with the Gilmore Academy in Ohio, and you came to the Mustangs from the El Paso Rhinos, which I love that name. So tell us a little bit about your path to Morrisville.
Yeah, so originally I started my college hockey career playing at Fredonia State and was there for 4 years and a part of that team. And at the end of my college career, kind of wanted to get into coaching. And my coach over at Fredonia, Jeff Meredith, helped kind of pave the way for me, and I ended up being lucky enough to get a job out at Gilmore in Cleveland, Ohio, and had a great season there. And while I was there, I was actually able to jump on with the El Paso Rhinos in the North American League as one of their regional scouts and help them out a little bit, trying to get some players into there for their upcoming season. And throughout that year, with everything I learned, I was fortunate enough to get the job here at Morrisville and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like I said, I just love that Rhinos name. It's a great name. And you're going to see a little bit of a trend here because the players have come from awesome name programs as well. So, Garrett, I'm going to jump over to you. You, my friend, are in your senior year. You're from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sorry about that. You played for the Milton Menace before coming to Morrisville, which, again, another awesome name. So tell us, how did your path to Morrisville go?
Well, it was my age-out year in junior. I was in the Northern League there my previous 2 years, and then I wanted to move down south to Southern Ontario there to get some more exposure. Landed in Milton and started off really well. Got a couple. Was talking to a couple schools, and then Morrisville reached out at the time with our former assistant before Ryan, Coach Azano. He was Canadian, so he liked to recruit out of Canada a little bit. So he kind of reached out and started that process. And then, been here for, this will be my 4th year here. And like Ryan, haven't really looked back.
That's awesome. And Sault Ste. Marie, I think Wayne Gretzky played some junior hockey there, didn't he?
Yeah. For our, we have a OHL team there. He played there, I think, for a year. And then they just retired Joe Thornton's number 2, like last weekend, I think.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Because as I understand, I think that's where he actually started wearing number 99.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I know that's where he played.
Yeah, and again, guys, I didn't tell you this earlier, but I am an absolute warehouse of useless information. So if there's anything useless you need to know, just ask me. Anything important, forget it. But so Rob, we're going to go over to you. You too are in your senior year. You're from Spencerport, New York. Now, I like to think that I know my New York State geography, but I'm kind of stumped. Where is Spencerport?
Rochester. It's the west side of Rochester.
Ah, gotcha. You played for the New England Wolves of the Eastern Hockey League. And again, I will ask you, how about your path to Morrisville?
So I kind of was, I guess, as hockey players call it, a suitcase throughout juniors. I played in the the GOJHL, as a first year guy. And then I moved up to the USPHL. Then I found a home in New England my age out year. And it was just great. The coaching staff, Tim Coons, Bates, all those guys were great, helped me develop. Now I was beginning the season, looking at what schools I wanted to go to, what schools had my program. Not a lot of schools have agricultural business or diesel technology programs. And Morrisville was one of those schools that had them, just like Garrett, met up with Coach Zano and never looked back.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about Morrisville too. They have such a variety of programs there. My stepson went to school there, and he loved every minute of it. So you guys play at the Morrisville Iceplex, and you shared the Iceplex with the Center State Youth Hockey Association, which is they're just a fantastic group of people. And I know you guys do a lot of work with them. So if you would tell us a little bit about what you do with them.
So I guess that's where I come in. So last year, our assistant coach before Ryan, Andrew Viglucci, kind of got that connection going with us, with the Center State. COVID happened and we weren't able to skate with them because of protocols. We didn't have a season, and it was just tough. And then sophomore year, the year after COVID, we still have all these protocols, got to watch your social distancing, wearing masks. So it was tough. And then my junior year, Andrew came in, all the restrictions got lifted and he kind of paved the way for us. So I would go out every chance I could. I'd work with Learn to Play all the way up to U14 kids. And I just enjoyed it. From when I was a younger kid, I'd go out with Learn to Skate kids and mites. So I just loved doing it. So then when Andrew went to LIU, the coaches approached me, Ryan and Krog's like, hey, we kind of need someone to coordinate between our program and them. Do you mind doing that? I'm like, yeah, sure. I love to. So I'm, I guess, a coordinator of players between, all of the players at Morrisville and Center State. So I help the kids out getting to the ice times, like each guy works once a week with a certain team. So we'll have 4 guys out on an ice sheet at a time because here we're so limited with ice. You have split sessions. So 10U and 12U skate together, 18s and 14 skate together, and then Learn to Play 6U and 8Us all split the ice. So it was just a great way to give back to the community and get fans to come enjoy our games.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's such a fantastic thing. And I'm sure you guys kind of get that feeling because, to these kids, you guys are the rock stars, right? They got to be so pumped to be out on the ice with the Mustangs. So I'm going to go around the table here and I'll start with you, Coach. Who were some of your hockey idols growing up and who, you wanted to pattern your game after?
Yeah, so for me, it was Marc-Andre Fleury and Jonathan Quick were kind of the two guys as I was coming into my older years that I really wanted to play like. I was never the biggest guy, was never the best skater, but I felt that both of those guys were very athletic and found ways to stop pucks. So that was kind of who I modeled myself after, or at least tried to.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Jonathan Quick is such a fun goaltender to watch. I couldn't even imagine trying to do what he does, though, because the guy is just human Gumby.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's a reason he's in the NHL and I'm coaching.
Yeah, did you ever think to yourself, I'm going to try to do a Jonathan Quick move and then go, uh-oh.
Oh, senior year of college, that's when I started feeling that, and I made the right decision.
That's great. Garrett, I'll throw that question over to you.
Well, when I was a kid, I would put on like the road hockey stuff and helmet in my living room and watch. I loved Kippersoff on the Flames. He was
Ooh,
one, and Rolison on the Oilers. Those were two that I just kind of liked to watch when I was younger. But then growing up, I mean, the classic one would be Carey Price, just because of how calm he is in the net. I also try and be a little bit like Freddie Anderson too. I like the way he plays, and being an unfortunate Leafs fan, I got to watch him quite a lot over the past couple of years. So those are some that I try and emulate, but I just try and do my own thing out there.
Yeah, there you go. That's really cool. And Rob, of course, we're going to ask you the same question.
I think Drew Doughty, he's a guy that's not overly huge. Like, I'm not a big guy by any means. He works hard. He doesn't just go out there and do the motions. He's always a guy that, you see when he's out there, he just gives his 100%. So that's what I try to do. I'm not an overly skilled guy, but that's basically mine.
Yeah, but I got to ask you, Rob, do you chirp like Drew Doughty?
No, that part I kind of keep my mouth shut, but let everything else do the talking. That I don't do.
And it looks like you still got your teeth too. So,
partially have my teeth. The ones that matter.
Well, I got to tell you something. You guys are after my own heart because I grew up as a Kings fan. So this is awesome to hear two LA Kings legends be mentioned in the same show. This is great. So, Garrett, we know you were a Leafs fan.
Yeah.
Coach, how about you? Who's your NHL team?
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, looks like we got a little rivalry going. Rob.
Mine, I got two, Pittsburgh and LA.
Really?
Yeah.
See that? I never thought there'd be another LA Kings fan around. This is great. And I'm surprised you're not a Buffalo Sabres fan.
Growing up in the Rochester area with like the Amerks and Buffalo, it was just like, I want to be different. I don't want to be that, fanboy that everyone is, Rochester, Buffalo area.
Sure.
A lot of people are Buffalo Bills fans, Buffalo Sabres fans. It's like, I want to be different.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that too, because I know exactly how you feel, because around here it's a lot of New York Rangers fans.
Yeah.
So it's a constant argument, right? But that's what makes it so much fun. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit here. Let's talk about the season so far. We started to talk about that before we came on the air. It's been you're playing the tough part of your schedule right now. In the past week, you've played two top 10 ranked teams. Coach, we just talked about it. That is actually an advantage for your team, though, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. It can definitely be an advantage. I mean, with the SUNYAC, you're facing top 15 nationally ranked opponents. Feels like all the time, and they say iron sharpens iron, right? So we're playing the best competition in the country, and we're only going to be better off for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. It's always good to play good competition, because I mean that it elevates your game for sure. And speaking of which, Saturday night you guys had an awesome win up in Potsdam. So it was a big come from behind victory, a 3-goal third period, which, by the way, you started, Rob, with your goal, and Garrett, you came in to get the win. So take us through that locker room in between the second and the third period, and then that big third period comeback.
I mean, yeah, we kind of went into the locker room just knowing we were doing the right things. We had a little bit more left in the tank, and like you mentioned, both of these guys played a pivotal role in really changing the momentum in that game and having us come out on the right side of it.
For sure. And Garrett, you came in the second period. Yeah. Like Coach Ryan said there. I mean, I don't think there was ever a doubt that we were going to lose that game. We knew that we were going to win, especially going into the third. There was Krogs came in and he repeated that we are winning this hockey game. And I think that just kind of resonated, and everybody believed it. And we came out and did what we had to do to win a hockey game.
Yeah, absolutely. And as goaltenders, I'm sure you guys would agree, coming in cold in the middle of a game has got to be one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, that makes it all more impressive what Garrett was able to do that night, because it's not an easy position he was put in, and he performed well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Rob, did you feel like Drew Doughty when you scored that goal?
I guess a little. I mean, when those situations come up and I get that opportunity, it's like I'm in this spot for a reason. I need to, put this in. This is going to be a huge thing for us. And I just got lucky with that one. I didn't get all of it, but got enough of it.
So take us through the goal. Anyway, how did it come about?
Well, we were setting up on a power play and we get in zone and, we have certain sets we run and we were getting through our looks and we were settling it down, and Andrew Manley, my D partner, made a great play to pull their guys over to him. Same with Curtis Abbott and Stevie Gerbis. They got all the attention on their side, made 2 quick passes to me over on that right or that left-hand side, and I was just able to have that time to get a shot off that one-timer.
Very good, very good. And like I said, that's got to feel fantastic. And what an exciting game too. I mean, what was it? 1:18 left, I think, when Cameron Clark scored. It was something like that. And yeah, that's just awesome that you guys picked up the win. So Cortland this Saturday, you're going down to Cortland. Little scouting report on the Red Dragons.
Yeah, so yet again another top 15 ranked team in the nation. So definitely have to take them seriously. I mean, they're a team that's been on the rise for the last few years. They've continued to improve, and I mean they have great players and a great coaching staff. So we're gonna be in for a good game this week.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys got any thoughts on that?
Just excited to go play another top 15 team on the road. Try and take one away from them in their own rink is always a fun challenge, and I know the boys are excited for it. Get 2 points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel the same way. Yeah,
no doubt about it. All right, guys, let's have a little bit of fun now, because this is the part of the show where I always like to have some fun. And by the way, our co-host is in now, Jordan Brockway. Welcome, Jordan.
Always a pleasure, even if it was a mess today.
Well, that's adds flavor to the show, I guess.
Yep, it's about the little things.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
exactly.
there we go.
Yeah, bang. All right, guys. So we'll start off with some easy ones here. We'll go right down the table here. Workout songs. You want to get your workout going. You want to get pumped up. What is going into your phone or whatever it is you're doing using to play your music? Coach, we'll start with you.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I was never the guy on aux in the locker room, and I still am not the guy controlling the music in the weight room here. So, jeez, oh man, that's a tough one. Probably just anything heavy metal, just something to get you going.
There you go. That's awesome. No Barry Manilow?
No, God no. Couldn't wait to see.
How about you, Garrett?
Same as Coach. Some heavy metal or some older rock, some Def Leppard or stuff like that. Always good in the gym.
Awesome. Rob, tell us, who is it?
Oh, I'm the same way. Heavy metal, older rock, even some like rock country I'll listen to.
Wow,
finally
nice.
Some class.
Well, I'm from that western part of Rochester where it's a lot of farmland. I grew up a farm boy basically, so it's kind of
hey.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
So he listened to country out there.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
Good.
Exactly. Yeah. But now that we just did mention it, who does control the music in the gym?
Garrett.
It fully depends on who's there and then just who takes it. Cameron Clark likes to take it over every now and then. Mateo de Blasio likes to play music too in the gym.
Nice.
I think we might have to switch it up tomorrow because I think we're doing yoga instead of a workout. So the heavy metal and old rock might not mesh well with yoga at 9 a.m.
You never know, but now that's interesting. Let's talk about that for a second. So you're doing yoga instead of practice?
No, just yoga instead of our team lift. We've been working pretty hard the last few months, and with our schedule tomorrow, we ended up having to push our practice up a little bit earlier in the day. So with our workouts butting up against practice, we decided that it might be better for the team to kind of, instead of a heavy lift, take a yoga day, take more of a recovery pre-practice instead of the heavy lifting.
Now that is really interesting because that's honestly, that's the first time I've heard of a hockey team incorporating yoga into their regimen. So is this something that started this season, or is this something you guys have been doing for a while now?
We've done like mobility movements to where we're still using some weight in the past, but focusing more on the stretch and the pull of your muscles. This is the first time for me in my college career to do yoga, unless we woke up, they'd post, we have open yoga at this times, and some of us would go do it, but we wouldn't actually have a team designated yoga session.
Okay. That's it. That's really interesting. I tell you that is. So let's move on to the next one here. On the Mustangs, who is the best cook?
Oh,
That's a good one.
Garrett, you lived with one of them.
Oh yeah. Our other goalie Ryan Creenan is quite a chef himself. Trying to think. I mean, I love to barbecue. Anything that's barbecuing, I'll do. But I mean, I don't know if that makes me a chef or just
Well, it certainly does, because now you're making me hungry.
Yeah. Anything for good barbecue.
Yeah. What's your go-to?
Yep.
I mean, the classic is steaks.
Well, the classic is it's brisket.
Yeah,
Come on.
right. Well,
Yeah.
Honestly, anything. I mean, my dad, that's kind of how I grew up. Everything my dad could barbecue, we would barbecue, even in, the cold Northern Ontario winters. It's like -20 and freezing snow. And where's my dad outside on the barbecue in his little slipper, just grilling up?
I like him.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. It's perfect.
Listen, that barbecue's going to melt that snow. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome.
Scott, when we get to the second half, I'll tell you my barbecue story.
Okay, well, all right.
That doesn't sound good.
It challenges his dad in slippers 20 below.
Now I'm almost kind of afraid knowing it's coming from you. But
I'm always afraid.
No, it wasn't a robe with no underwear.
Okay,
Come on.
all right. Well, just making sure. Ooh, oh boy. Yeah. All right.
Here we go.
Moving right along. Who is the biggest video gamer on the team?
Oh,
we got a bunch.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll ask this then. What's the go-to game?
Right now, I'd say with the Fortnite's probably pretty popular because they just redid something. I don't know. I don't play video games. I have a Wii, and that's about it. So
I guess it's
he's like me then. Yeah.
It's like Fortnite because I'm probably in that category. When I'm not doing homework at the rink, I'll indulge myself in some video games. So it's probably like either Fortnite or the new Call of Duty just came out too. So I know that's a big one.
There you go. So, all right. So with Call of Duty, who's most likely to shoot their own teammate? So sorry about that, bro. I thought you were the enemy.
I mean, I don't know. G?
Just depends. I think, some guys could get a little confused out there, or just if someone ticked someone off at practice, you could see a little someone.
Game over.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so who on the team then would make the best bouncer?
Bouncer.
Oh,
that might be Jensen Dodge.
Oh,
yeah.
Got it.
Him or Jonesy.
That's true. Jonesy would be good too.
Yeah, both of them at the door. Nobody's getting in.
No one. Or
I don't care if this is your ID. You're not getting in. That's it.
Yeah.
That is great. Let's see. All right, this is a good one. Who is the Mustangs fashion plate? The best dresser on the Mustangs.
You could throw Rob up there with his cowboy boots with every single outfit. I mean, it's a statement for sure.
Yeah. Suits, cowboy boots. I got dress boots for suits.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Now, do you got the Stetson to go along with it?
No, not. I don't take it that far. I got to keep it somewhat.
Somewhat Yankee.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. All right, and one last time here. Who has the best nickname on the team?
You're stumping them on every question.
Well,
This is-
hey.
yeah.
Well, I have to say I didn't warn them ahead of time. So I mean, this is on me. You know, that's
yeah.
I mean, everyone has a really good nickname.
Yeah. I mean, Jonas Lee's has about 7 or 8
Yeah.
that he's got. Rob, yours is pretty good. The hacksaw is
So that's not a bad one.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. The hacksaw? Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
I like that one.
I want to get that like imprinted on the back of the hat now. The hacksaw.
Yeah.
If I do, I'll have you sign it. So I got to tell you, your captain. Do they call him the Great Grasby? Literary reference.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a couple guys call him Gatsby before. So
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, fellas, Rob, I know you said you're going to have to get on the ice again with Center State pretty quick here. But I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on to talk to us. This has been so much fun, and this has been really awesome. Is there anything you guys want to say to anybody who might be listening? Like a quick shout out, a quick hi, or
other than that, just roll Mustangs, right?
Yeah. Roll Mustangs.
there you go. Awesome. Well, guys, listen, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. And, best of luck for the rest of the season. And I'll definitely be up to the Iceplex to cover a few more games. And, Rob, I think I got a picture of you putting a Plattsburgh Cardinal into the boards. So and Garrett, I got a couple of pictures of your awesome mask too. So
Perfect.
we got you covered. I'll make sure you guys get those. So
Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
all right. Awesome. Well, again, fellas, thank you so much. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Roll Mustangs, and we will see you at the Iceplex soon.
All right,
Thank you.
perfect. Thank you very much for having us.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks. All right. That was super cool. I tell you, I love those kind of interviews. I felt bad. I did kind of put him on the spot because I never tell anybody ahead of time because I always want to get that organic reaction.
Yeah.
Because if you tell somebody ahead of time, then they got time to think about it. But I just like to see the looks on their faces. But that's, it's all good.
Yep. That's the best part.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jordan, I'm glad you made it in because we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we got a lot of other hockey to talk about in segment 2. And, of course, Dave's got some big news, too. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today. You'll be glad you did.
All right, and we're back for segment 2. I should have mentioned that song to those guys when we were talking about the pump-up music
That's
for working
it.
out.
Well, they could watch this and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we even know what the name of that song is?
No.
No, I have I license a whole bunch of music and it's in that library.
Just call it Dave the Save.
Yeah, I don't remember what the hell it is.
All right, so before we get going into the hockey news, all right, tell us your barbecue story.
Okay, the barbecue story. So 2002 was the first time I'd really visited up here with Deborah, right? And if you remember back to then, Little Falls made the national news because they had this wicked huge snowstorm. And so here in the city, it was more than 36 inches, but we were up at Spruce Lake.
Mhm.
All right. So that's another 1,000 feet elevation up there.
Sure.
We had 5 feet of snow.
5 feet.
5 feet of snow up there, right? And so I'm up from Austin, Texas, right? And they had planned this big barbecue. It was New Year's Eve, if I remember right, either New Year's Eve or Christmas Day. I think it was New Year's Eve.
Oh boy.
And they're like, well, we can't barbecue. It's a blizzard out there. There's snow everywhere. And I said, hell, I'm from Texas. I barbecue anywhere. And I was out in that friggin' blizzard, 5 feet of snow, barbecuing steaks in upstate New York. And my father-in-law says, and they call me the crazy son of a bitch.
Now, did anybody come out and put a carrot on your nose or anything? That's what I
No,
want to
I
know.
tell you what, they could have. And I'm thinking, this is so great because I don't have to live up here and shovel this shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the joke is on you.
Yeah, little
my
did
friend.
I know 6 years later, I'm up here
It's like,
shoveling up there.
Welcome back, Cotter. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And speaking of Deborah, congratulations to your wife.
yes.
Just
She-
got elected mayor.
She is the new mayor of Little Falls. Officially takes office January 1st, but I tell you what, it was a surprise. We got home at about, let's see, what time was that? Just before midnight, I guess. And got the concession call from her opponent. Very nice. We got to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, and I couldn't sleep, and I was exhausted. And
Well.
so I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I go, hey, I can't sleep. She says, is that my problem somehow? We start talking about everything. And I looked at my phone at 5:30 and there's already all these congratulatory messages pouring in. And so we had hundreds to field in the last, what day is this? Thursday? 48 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's been nuts. Phone calls and
Yeah.
text messages. And
It's all good though.
yeah.
It's all
And
good.
she's already started
Now-
working. We walked
You-
Main Street in Little Falls tonight, talking to all the
Really?
business owners and finding out what their needs were and what they were interested in. And
Cool.
yeah, it was very informative.
And I've also been told that you want to be referred to as the first dude.
Deborah's first veto was that name.
Well, you lose, pal.
I lost that battle right off the bat.
Yep.
This is the first gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said,
So,
that's a mistake, calling me a gentleman. But
Well, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome all the same though. But
it'll be great for Little Falls.
yes, absolutely. Let's get back to hockey. So we
Why,
gotta,
this is fun.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
No, keep
Hey,
going. Go hockey. This
I was
is a
gonna say,
hockey show.
don't throw my train of thought off.
All right, yeah, rusty tracks.
It'll never get back on.
Yeah.
Yup.
Anyways, we're going to start off the Colgate men. They are hosting Harvard tomorrow night. It's going to be Friday night down at the Class of 1965 Arena, and it's a big night because they are raising their ECAC championship banner, and they are also honoring longtime former head coach Don Vaughn. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a ceremony for him along with the banner raising. If you're in the Utica area tomorrow night, Utica, Rome, Syracuse area, you want to see some hockey, get down to Colgate and check that out because it's going to be super cool. Raising the banner, honoring Coach Vaughn, and we're going to be there to cover it. So, if you see the guy with the Central New York hockey hat or hockey report hat on, go over and say hi. That's just wanted to say that.
Who is that? No, just
That's
kidding. Oh, okay. Tomorrow night?
Yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah, maybe you'll take a road trip with me. He's checking his phone.
I'm checking my phone. Yeah, I'm like, what? I didn't even know what day it is.
And then speaking of the Raiders, the next night, Saturday night, they're hosting Dartmouth. So 2 ECAC battles right there in a row. I'll tell you, Jordan, those conference games are so important. You start winning those conference games, season turns around right off the hop. I mean, they're 3-4-1 right now. A lot of hockey left. I mean, if you recall last season, they started off kind of slow. They got hot in the second half, and look what happened. So, again, if you can get down there, check that out. The Colgate women, the number 3 ranked Colgate women, have just been on an absolute roll. Last Friday night, they beat Brown 4-2 at home. And then the next day, I was down there for this game. They beat the 7th ranked Yale Bulldogs 4-0. And I'll tell you something, Jordan, they made it look easy. It was very impressive for a team that's as good as Yale is. And they are a very good team. Like I said, Coach Fargo's team just rolled right through them. They're on the proverbial roll. And so they're like in the opposite schedule of the men. So They are going to Harvard there it is. They're going to Dartmouth Friday night, and then they will play at Harvard on Saturday afternoon. So the men are hosting Harvard and Dartmouth. The women are out at Harvard and Dartmouth. So that's usually how the scheduling works, actually, with college hockey. It's, anyways, I know you want to talk about this one. The Utica Pioneers men, they are 2-0-2. They are at Chatham, I'm sorry, Friday night and Saturday. They were number 3, and they dropped down to number 4 in this poll after last weekend's series against Stevenson. Friday night, they tied Stevenson 2-2, lost in the shootout. So Stevenson got the extra UCHC point there. Saturday afternoon, they turned it on basically in the last half of the game, defeated the Mustangs 5-2. Coach Gary Heenan, congratulations on your 350th win. You were there. What were some of your thoughts?
So I missed the first game, and then I watched it back, and a lot of the testimony from my section was a lot of they weren't skating hard the first game, and they were just getting outplayed by a Stevenson team that was hungry, and we knew they were going to come in hungry, and that's what they did. The second game, there was a little bit of a lineup shift. I was very surprised that Mike Herrera wasn't in the lineup because he's been playing some of the best hockey of any freshman I've watched on this team.
Sure.
But they made it work without him, and Gary knows how to fit his lineups after a game because every time he shifts his lineup, it works perfectly, and that's what happened this game. They utilized their setups. They were getting more time. They were skating for pucks. They were very aggressive, and they stayed up, and that's been a problem is them staying on their feet, not getting knocked off the puck, and skating hard, and they're starting to figure that out alongside their chemistry, and that's what they need for the rest of the season. The schedule kind of gets easier from here, but Chatham's still a team that if you give them power play time, just like last year, they'll take it and they'll score.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was at the game Friday night. So between the two of us, we got it covered. We're good. And the one thing I noticed Friday night, and it was Stevenson playing very, very aggressive on the forecheck. I was very impressed by their effort. Like you said, they came in hungry. And no matter what, throw the rankings out the window, they always play the Pioneers hard anyway. It's just one of those. That's their series that they come in. It's been that way for a long time. But they played a great game Friday night. Can't take anything away from them. But the Pioneers, like I said, they bounced back, and Saturday afternoon to pick up that win. Were you surprised that they dropped a spot in the polls, even though they didn't actually lose the game?
Yes and no, in the sense that I kind of expected it, but it was still a little bit of a surprise. But at the same time, I know the team may want to make it to a number 1, but that puts the biggest target on their back. And that's what you saw at the end of last year was there was such a big target on their back. And that's the one thing that the vets really need to do if they're going to stay this high is make sure that these freshmen, I'm not saying they're going to, and I'm not saying they are, but just keep them humble and keep their heads out of the clouds if they do continue to play at this such high level, because you don't want your roster to get very, I don't want to say cocky, but for lack of a better term, to get cocky. And I know Gary wouldn't let that slide anyways.
Right. No, I could never see that happening.
Yeah.
Not a chance. Let's see the Utica women. They are still undefeated. They're 4-0-0 now, Jordan. They moved up a spot in the rankings. They went from 9 to 8. Last weekend, they went down to Lebanon Valley, and they defeated the Flying Dutchman 2-1 and 4-1. Close game there Friday. Came back Saturday and just they did what they do. This team has been very impressive so far. And by the way, I just want to say that going down to Lebanon Valley, they play in the Hershey Park Arena, which I've mentioned this before. I know you're going to say, yeah, Scott, you already mentioned this. I know, but I just wanted to say it again. Awesome arena. I'd love to get there for a game someday. But no, what Coach Clausen's team is doing is really, really impressive. Jordan, I don't think they've given up a power play goal yet this season. I don't want to curse it or anything, but very impressive.
Yeah, and you look at a team like that, we've said it before, but you can't say it enough because it's the exact same situation as the men had last year. You're loaded with all these veterans, and you just know you're a good team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This weekend, Wilkes is coming to town. The Wilkes Colonels, Friday night over there at the Utica University Nexus Center. They start at 7:00, and then Saturday afternoon they're right back in the Nexus Center 2:00. So it's a lot of hockey going on, and we've still got more to go here, buddy. So hang on. We just talked to the Morrisville men. We know that they're playing in Cortland this Saturday. The Morrisville women are 2-1-0. They're off to a great start themselves, playing very good hockey. They have the Iceplex themselves this weekend. So Friday night they are hosting Oswego. And then they've got a really tough test coming in Saturday afternoon as the number 3 Plattsburgh Cardinals are coming into town. It's kind of ironic that, the women and the men are both number 3 in Plattsburgh, But yeah, a very big test for Coach Briggs' team. But, they're just playing very, very tight, structured team hockey, which is really, the best path to success. And so far, so good for the Morrisville women.
Yeah, and when you run a system and you run it well, it doesn't matter who you plug in, it'll work. And I've said this with Gary all year with the Utica men's team, and that's that I don't care who the players are. As long as they fit the system, I'm not worried. And
Right.
It's the same thing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to say, too, that the Syracuse Orange, the women's hockey team, is on a bye this weekend. So they are the only bye team in our coverage area. So that's they get a break this weekend. I think they go to Lindenwood, all the way out in Missouri next weekend. So it's not a road trip. That's a plane trip. You're not taking a bus all the way out there.
100%.
So, all right. Well, let's talk about the AHL because, we've always said we got 2 AHL teams right here in our coverage area. Starting off with the Utica Comets, they are in a home series this weekend against the Rochester Americans, who are still in first place. So let's see. Friday night, the Comets go out to Rachacha, as we like to say. And then Saturday night is at the Adirondack Bank Center. It's Military Appreciation Night. They got their special jerseys all ready to go. So the Comets are currently in 6th place in the North Division. Rochester, like I said, is leading the division, but they have a goal differential of -3.
Yeah, and they're one of those teams that they're good at scoring, but they definitely let in more than they should. And that might be where that's coming from.
Yeah, definitely. They can score in bunches, but they can also give up a lot of goals in bunches. But you know what? They're in first place, so you got to catch them. The Syracuse Crunch likewise are playing a home series. They are playing the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins of the Atlantic Division. And I'm so glad that we don't cover that team because I wouldn't have to try to say that name all the time. But I couldn't try Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. What? It started to sound like what was that cartoon there? Porky Pig. Right? There's no way I could do it. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. But anyways, all joking aside, I'll tell you, Jordy, the Crunch are on a tear to start the season. They're 5-2-0-2. They're in 3rd place in the North Division, but they're 2 points out of 1st place behind Rochester, getting contributions from all over the place, and they're just playing a fantastic team game right now. Everybody's contributing. So they are doing their military appreciation on Friday night because the home part for them is at home on Friday, and then Saturday they head down to Pennsylvania. So again, the Crunch, they're doing fantastic themselves. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, they play very much a well-oiled machine in the sense that they run a system and they know it like the back of their hand. And they remind me of Hartford in the sense that when they get in the zone, you don't stop it. You just don't.
No. And I'll tell you, so far the systems and the way that Coach Joel Bouchard's got them playing is really, I have to say, has been one of the pleasant surprises of the AHL so far this year.
Yeah, I especially expected them to take a little bit of a downstep, losing Beret Belay and a couple of these guys, and they've taken 0 steps back. If anything, they've gone forward.
Yeah. I mean, Trevor Carrick's gone. We knew Rash was going to stay in Tampa Bay. That was a given. But today too, they just announced that Philippe Myers was recalled by the Tampa Bay Lightning. But again, they're playing a very, very well structured game, and you just, like you said, once you get that going, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and they're a team that's not really going to deal with too much of like super up and down, left and right, guys going everywhere. So it's a little easier for them than if you're someone like Utica who got Max Willman called up like half an hour before the game. So they had to play 7D.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, surprise.
Yeah.
Even though I think they only announced that about a half an hour. He had to know, a little bit prior to that. But I mean, it's just kind of weird out.
They also kind of panicked having 7D, and apparently Friedman's on the IR.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that they announced that today too. So they had a couple call-ups from Adirondack, right?
They
Middendorf
called up Angaris, and
Yes, and that's hey, but I mean, the Crunch are dealing with it a little bit too. And I always screw the first name up, so we'll just say Peter because I can't quite say his first name for Kochetkov is going to be in Carolina for a while now. In the wake of the Freddie Anderson injury, and we hope he gets well soon. But it's going to be Hugo Elnefeld's net in Syracuse. And then I know I just wanted, speaking of goaltenders in AHL, I know that there was a little bit of excitement when the Comets put out that picture on their X account. Nico Dawes on the ice. Everybody's like, "Whoa, he's back! He's back!" Not yet. Relax. He's just getting a little bit of ice time. Apparently, the timeline is still sometime after Thanksgiving. Probably getting closer towards Christmas, but it's hard to believe that we're just about in the middle of the month already.
Yeah, it's crazy just looking at how the season's already gone so far.
I know.
And I even just passing the week for Pioneer games and Comet games and the excitement for the Hartford game, I'm surprised we're this far in, and I'm like, where have the 5 games gone?
Yeah, exactly. It's incredible. But, I guess, what do they say? Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah,
something like that. Awesome. So, with your shows and your podcast, you got anything going on?
I put my Utica men's hype video out 2 weeks ago around Adrian game time, and then I got a Comet one ready and waiting. I'm just running it through a couple more checks, and I'm very stingy, so I want it done the right way.
Nice.
And
we're going to find that.
It's going to be on my YouTube at Jordy Fighter. There's one clip I overlooked that I have to take out and go through the whole editing process again because I accidentally put the same clip twice, and I'm kicking myself for it.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's more on the way. Fellow co-host Jeremy Roberts just asked me to do a little filming for his C League team. So,
oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, he gave me another challenge. Man.
Oh, we gotta get some awesome graphics every time he touches the puck.
Yeah,
it's the little things. I love. Is there any way you could put the graphic "I love Tom Wilson" on the back of his jersey?
Yes, I will try to do that. I will 100% try to do that.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I was actually on I was on the D3 Hockey News podcast, which you can find on Spotify. Our buddy Chris Sugar has his own podcast there, and it's awesome. And I was on, talking some Central New York hockey with him. It's on Spotify. Like I said, we recorded, I think it was Tuesday, something like that. So yeah, if you're looking for some more
this week, Tuesday,
this couple days ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's this week, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because this is Thursday.
See, I'm confused already.
Yeah.
You know what?
Both words start with a T. I know how it is.
I know. Well, I'm getting more and more confused. That must mean that it's time to go, I guess. So,
yeah, really. Yeah.
Got to do the whole
Mr. Rogers
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers farewell. Well, kids, I guess it's time to go. That's
wait, Jordy's coming in again, I think.
I knew there was going to be something for that.
Yeah, there you go. So, Jordy, you got your YouTube channel. Where we're going to find you on the socials?
Same thing, Jordy Fighter on Twitter and whatever else. I mean, that's the only one I really use extensively. And that's usually where I scream and yell the most about whatever's going on.
There you go. Get it out of your system. You feel much better.
Yeah, I do it more at Pioneer games, so I freak out on their bench.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll have to film that sometime too.
Yeah.
I can probably clip together a ton and just have 20 minutes of yelling at random players.
Yes, the Jordy Fighter angry hype video.
Hey, it's not just me, it's the herd.
Yeah, there you go, right? You got to make a herd hype video then. That's perfect.
Some of the stuff they say is pure gold.
Well, maybe we'll have to get them on the show.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
See if you can arrange it.
Oh yeah, I might.
All right. Well, and with us, of course, you can check us out at cnyhockeyreport.com. You can follow us on all the socials, CNY Hockey Report, of course, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, and whatnot. Again, I want to thank Ryan Pascarella, Garrett Boyonoski, and Robert Haak from the Morrisville men's hockey team for coming on with us tonight. And of course, I want to thank you, the listener, for listening to us for the past hour or so. Anyways, I'm Scott Kimball for Jordan Brockway, Dave the Save Warner. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.